Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. You're watching and listening to Islam Always, and this is your host Yusuf Estes, National Muslim Chaplain, retired, not retarded, here with the real Sheikh is with us today. And this is Salim Morgan from the Squaw Valley here in California. And we're in Modesto. Right? And we have with us a whole bunch of thugs, Muslims, brothers, and here in the... Give a big salam alaikum. Salam alaikum! Wow. Can you imagine all this excitement, enthusiasm, and brilliance in one place? Turn off the lights. We brought our own light with us. Mashallah. And we're going to be addressing some questions, hopefully with some answers. And we're going to start out. We have some that are coming from the audience now. And in the meantime, we have a few already. So, Sheikh, if you read the first one, I'd like to give the answer, inshallah.
Okay. First question is, do Muslims have to wear hijab?
Do Muslims have to wear hijab? And the answer is no. No. Not all of the Muslims have to wear hijab. Not the boys.
Do Muslim women have to wear hijab?
Well, now we're getting technical. Okay, actually, no, they don't. Muslim women don't have to wear hijab. Just stay home. Wait a minute. Clarification. The only reason women have to wear the covering in Islam, it's not like Catholic. In the Catholic Church, women wear the habit or hijab because it's a mandate from their religion. They wear it from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. Even if they're in a convent living with women, they never can take it off. That's habit. It's exactly called habit. That's what it's called. You get in the habit means you're never going to get out of it. But for Muslim women, they never have to wear it, except if a strange man is going to be close to them and he can see them. But if it's like 100 miles away, well, that's too far, isn't it? But very, very far away, he can't really see what he's looking at. It's no big deal. But when he can make out, okay, I see this, looks like, okay, in this case now, time to have on hijab. This is the idea behind hijab, is to protect her from other men looking at her that don't have any business to see her body. And this is about it. And there are two places for reference in Quran is in chapter 24 verse 31. Be sure and read the verse before it, because it tells the men what to do. And then when it tells the women what to do, you can understand, because you see men are not going to follow what they should be doing, okay? Which we spoke about when we talked about the test. We talked about taqwa, things like this. But now you get the idea, putting it into practice. The woman wears the hijab only for what? Because there are strange men around her. That's the only reason, and Allah knows best. The other verse is in chapter 33, verse 59, Ahzab, and this is talking about a similar thing. So check it out for yourself and read the books about it. Also, the Prophet ﷺ talks about the subject, and we have many examples about it. I think you'll be satisfied that this is something very good, and it makes a lot of sense. Let's go to the next question.
Next question is, do Muslims have to grow a beard?
Do Muslims have to grow a beard? No. Not all of them. Not the women. Except there's this one lady, she works in the circus. I don't know. I knew you were going to laugh. Okay, keep going.
No, that was, do Muslim men have to grow a beard?
Oh, do Muslim men have to grow the beard? No, they don't. In fact, they can't grow the beard.
It grows by itself.
No, it doesn't. Nothing happens by itself, Sheikh.
Okay.
How does everything happen?
Without the man doing anything.
How does everything happen?
By Allah.
By Allah's will. See, Sheikh has got it right there. He was just testing me to see if I know what's up. You can't fool me. I'm a moron. Anyway. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute, though. Just think about this. Can you really grow a beard? Can you? Okay, let me see you grow it.
Well.
Go ahead.
Now?
No.
Yeah, now. You said you could do it. Get out there.
Not now.
Squeeze it out there. Let's have a look. So you don't do it. Allah does
I
it.
didn't give up.
Allah does it.
Well,
Yes?
yes.
So what we need to do for all the brothers who don't have a beard will make dua, Allah give him a beard. Allah give him, it's called lahya. Can you say lahya? Lahya. Say it. You did it just like an Arab. He's good, man. Mashallah. He's good, huh? It sounds like Arabic. Oh, he is Arab. Okay. Say, Allah give a big lahya to all of the Muslim brothers. Ameen. Oh wait, there's one more. And Allah make him stop cutting it off. Ameen. That's good. What's the next? Is that it? Okay, now we got to take...
One more.
Is that the last one?
The question is, what about da'wah? Do Muslims have to do da'wah? And what is it?
Okay. I'll tell you what. You have any other questions? I like that one for the last one. What else we got?
I can read them. What is the meaning of this verse? Kill the mushrikeen wherever you find them. Who are the mushrikeen in our time?
Okay, there's no meaning of the verse because there's no verse like this. Next question. There is no verse like this. Who said this? You have a verse like this? What kind of Quran you got? It says mushrikeen?
No.
Oh, you're reading from another place. I know what you're reading now. Okay. What does this mean? Yeah. Okay. Do you know when this is revealed? Do you know when the verse came? Huh? Do you know where the verse is? Do you know where the verse is? Don't just say the Quran, by the way. The verse, the location of the verse.
No, I don't.
Okay. There's several verses that people take out of context. And they change it and they say, why does the Quran say kill all the Jews and Christians wherever you find them? Have you heard about this? Yeah. And usually when they come with that, they're twisting the verses to make it say something it didn't say. Because we don't have any order in the Quran to kill Jews and Christians. It doesn't say that. What we have is a verse, not just one, there's a couple verses about the subject, but it's clear what it's talking about, and the word that's being used is qital. And qital is a broad word. Like when you say the word fight, for instance. Fight what? I might be fighting back an attack. I might be fighting something in my mind. I might be fighting with a person. I might, because fight is a general word. Hit is a general word. Like hit the point, or hit something, or hit you with an idea. So these are general terms. So you have to know specifically what did it mean. The word qital, which is used in those verses, actually is dealing with something called combat. In English, combat. And what it starts out in the first time the first reference comes is in response to some questions that were being asked to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They asked, who asked him was his companions. Because they had, you got questions, you finally get a chance to ask Sheikh a question, you're excited, and you got a question. This is what we're doing tonight. And they were asking him some questions. First question they asked about, what about the new moons? Can you tell us, does this mean anything to us in our religion, or is it nothing? Because some people used to worship the moon. So they were asking. And look how the verse comes, 189 in Surah Baqarah, and it says, Yasalunaka, which means what? They're asking you about the hilal, the new moons. And this is what you say, because Allah is telling the Prophet ﷺ what to say. These are to denote the months. So you know when is the time for Hajj and so on. Because this is exactly how we know when we begin Hajj. It's a month called Dhul Hijjah. Also, it helps us to know when to start Ramadan, which is the month for fasting. And so the months for the Muslims are according to the lunar or the moon calendar. But we don't worship the moon. We don't have anything to do with worshiping anything but Allah. But this is making it clear. So anybody understand a verse, they understand that. The next thing in the verse, it asks about What if we go through the back door of our house? Is this more righteous for us? Are we more pious by going through the back door of the house? And Allah answered this one, and He's saying, no, it's not. This is not piety. Piety is that you have taqwa for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's our subject tonight. We've been talking about taqwa. And what is taqwa? Put a barrier between you and Allah's punishment by obeying Him, repenting to Him, and being a good Muslim. Okay? And then it continues to the next verse, 190, and it says, now, giving them the permission to do what they couldn't do for 13 years, which was to engage in combat. Now, usually the translation says fight, but it is a fight which is combat. It's not a fight where they're going to, like wrestling or boxing. No, it's a fight with swords. And it was an order for them, now you can engage in combat against them if they engage in combat against you. Because what had happened for several times, they had gone all the way from Medina to Mecca. Now if you walked all the way from Modesto to Los Angeles, walking, and you got there and you wanted to go to Disneyland, and when you got there, they said, we're not going to let you in, you got to go back. Would you be happy? No. And this is more important because it's not Disneyland. This is something to fulfill obligation, which is the Holy Land pilgrimage for the Muslims. Similar to like Christians used to do this when they used to go to Holy Land. This is the same for us to go and make pilgrimage. But they wouldn't let them in, and they promised, but come back again another year, okay, blah, blah, blah. And when they go back, they did it again. We're not going to let you in. And they couldn't fight them. It was not permissible. But now they got the permission. If they start a fight with you, then you can fight them. But if they stop, you have to stop. So Allah put a limit. Before, Arabs never had any limit. Never. They had a 40-year war over a camel race where they killed each other and killed each other and killed each other. It was horrible. So Allah didn't need to tell Arabs how to engage in combat. Arabs are born knowing how to fight. In fact, I think some are born with a rock in their hand. I don't know. Anyway, but this was a big test. We were talking about tests. A big test for the Muslims was not to fight for 13 years while they watched their own relatives, who were called mushrikeen, pagans, idolaters, those who set up partners with Allah in worship, those bad people who had driven them out of their homes, stolen their property, abused them, cursed them, even raped their women, even beat them up, even killed them. They did all of these things to the Muslims. Muslims couldn't fight back. They wanted to, but the Prophet ﷺ would not let them, because we don't have any orders from Allah to do it. So now comes the verse. Where? In Medina. To do what? Combat them if they combat you. But if they stop, you have to stop. Allah does not like the transgressors. And you become a transgressor when somebody is not wanting to fight, but you want to fight. So clearly, this was spelling out something important. Then it continues. Next verse, 191. It says, and now the word qital is in the imperative form of the verb to order you to kill them in combat. I'm putting in combat in parentheses because it belongs there. Kill them in combat, because obviously they're killing you in combat, where they're killing you, and turn them out from where they turned you out. This could only be in reference to what? To the people of Mecca, who were mushrikeen, who had killed them, murdered them, slaughtered them, driven them out, put sanctions against them, tried to starve them to death for 2 years in the desert. Go back to your land. You can claim what's belonging to you now. You can go back, you can go and do your Hajj, you can do Umrah, and this is permission from Allah. But again, the warning comes from Allah. But if they stop, you have to stop. Then Allah continues, and He's going to keep reading the verses, and you see how Allah continues and says, and don't do this combat anywhere around the holy place, the sanctuary, around the Kaaba or the Haram. Don't do that unless they do it first. But again, if they stop, you have to stop. And then Allah is telling that He is the one. Allah is the one who is merciful. Allah is the one who's in control here. So you just take it easy. Allah is saying this. It's amazing, huh? Now go to chapter 9, Surah At-Tawbah, and I think it's like verse maybe 30, read 34, 35, and 36, and you'll see the context is the same. It starts again talking about Hajj, talking about when Muslims go for the Hajj, and then again talking about Qital and combat. So it's essentially the same thing. Translators have used the word jihad because they're translating from the students of Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah was one of the greatest of the scholars of his time, and also he was well known for being involved in jihad and fighting a lot against the mushrikeen who came from the Mongols. Yes? How am I doing? Pretty close? Yeah. Okay. So when his students gave the meaning to the verses, they started the same way the Sheikh did, talking about jihad, but the word jihad is not in the verses. It's not in the verses. You know Arabic, you know it's not there. But the meaning is there, and that's why we talk about jihad in general when we talk about these verses. But I want to be sure you know the difference between what is jihad and what is qital. Qital in these verses is combat. Jihad is a wider version, a wider meaning than just this, because we experience different kinds of jihad. There are many types of jihad. So I want to be sure you have this in mind. Now, I'm going to give an ad. I have to put in a commercial break. It's coming up right here. Go to IslamAlways.com and you can find many subjects. But if you want to research something, we got a brand new website. You want to get excited? You can go to our newest website. We just finished things today by moving it to a new server. Checked it out again today. I love it. Go there. It's called Search for Islam. Huh? Search for Islam. Sounds like the name of a Muslim soap opera, right? Huh? Searchforislam.com. Go there and type in the word that you want to know. Maybe you want to know about apostasy. What happens to somebody if they leave Islam and maybe they like to be a Christian? Huh? What happens to them? Go there and see. What is it? They're going to kill them? Is it punishment? Or we bake a cake and have a party for them, or what? It's there. You get the answers. Go to Search for Islam. Type in the word you're looking for. Want to know about the Bible? About Trinity? About Jesus? About Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Peace be upon them. Go and type in the word that you need. It's Search for Islam. And I hope you enjoy it. You can get all your questions answered there. Inshallah, you don't have to write to me anymore at askislam@aol.com and wait for a month for me to find time to check it. You can go get your answer immediately. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of answers in English we already put up there for you. Just type in the word you want and go get your instant fatwa. Inshallah. And it's free. And it's worth it. Here we go.
Next question.
Why not?
I want to comment real quick on the last question too. That was a comprehensive answer, but sometimes maybe you need a short answer. And the issue is that non-Muslims take this out of context by itself, kill the mushrikeen wherever you find them, and say this is a command from Allah. What he was explaining was that it came in a particular context and it had limits on it. But another very short answer is that this Islam wasn't theory, it wasn't a stone tablet with 10 commandments on it. It was something real that happened, and as we know, the Sunnah explains the Quran and implements the Quran, and there is no one ever in the entire history of the Muslim Ummah who said such a thing. Not the Prophet ﷺ, not the Khulafa, not any companion, not any Tabi'een. There is no Muslim ever who said it's Allah's ruling that you can kill any mushrik or any Christian or any Jew, wherever you find them, just kill him. That's the clearest proof that this is not the meaning of the verse, that no one on this planet ever understood it that way. Next question.
Wait, let me do one. I want to do a question and you do the answer. It says,
This one.
can you read it?
Yeah.
What is that word?
Muslim got married to more than one.
Oh, definitely I'd like to let you have that one. Okay, it said here, a Muslim got married to more than one. I'm assuming that means more than one lady.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. What?
What do you say to them?
You?
When they ask.
What do you say to a non-Muslim when they ask? What are they asking for? Another one?
I guess.
I guess.
They ask for that.
Well, I don't know.
Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. This is a very important conversation. It really is. And we need to approach this in the right way. The whole answer about polygamy is in one verse of Allah's book. وَأَنْكِرْ عَلَى أَيَّامَ مِنْكُمْ. This is the entire answer. And this also will show us sometimes we are in the wrong when it comes to polygamy. The purpose of polygamy is to fulfill the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which I just read. Marry off the single people amongst you. Islam is against people being single. Period. And anything that leads to that, and we invented social engineering before the term ever existed. The leader of the Muslim or the leaders of the Muslim need to combat anything that gets in the way of وَأَنْكِحُ الْأَيَامَ مِنكُمْ. So that includes extra high dowries. When that becomes a fashion, the imams have to combat this. That includes anything which makes people delay marriage until too long. It includes too little polygamy, and it includes too much polygamy. If there is too much polygamy in a society, if all the rich men go out and get 4 wives, then we are again in violation of وَأَنْكِحُ الْأَيَامَ مِنكُمْ. Because now there are young men, in fact that's worse than the other situation which is coming. Because Islam does not approve, and we are to eliminate as much as possible single men, excess single men, and excess single women. We don't desire either of those. Islam wants people to be in marriage as much as possible. Now, biological human societies are what percent male? Does anyone know the answer?
You tell me.
49%.
Yeah.
Normal human populations, before any wars or anything like that, are 49% male. So if it's still like that, there hasn't been, exterminations or fascist rulers killing people by the hundreds or something else.
Careful.
We need about, 2% of men to have 2 wives, and we have fulfillment. It doesn't need to go any farther than that. And in fact, that's really the nature of human beings. It's really only 1 or 2 in 100 that are capable politically. It's not physical, it's mostly politics. That is the difficulty in polygamy. There aren't very many people that can do it, men or women. There just aren't. Most people can't handle it. They can't be fair. وَلَنْ تَعْدِلُوا بَيْنَ النِّسَاءِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتُمْ. It's another test, being fair between wives. So if you can't do it, and you know yourself, it's haram for you as an individual, you can't do it. But we only need a few. Alright? So if a Muslim society follows the West and there is no polygamy, this is a fitna.
I think he volunteered, but I don't know.
And this is,
said you only need a few good men, right?
Yeah, this is disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So the rulers have to cleanse this from the people and teach them the right way. That polygamy is part of Islam. There are some people who have the ability, physical and economic and otherwise, to do it, and there are some women who have the ability in terms of self-control to do it. Until we reach this level of وَأَنْكِحُ الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ, then we're not in compliance. Alright? And again, like I said, if some rich people go overboard and start marrying 4 until there's a bunch of men walking around with no wife, we're not in compliance. And we have to do something about that. We have to make maw'idah to the people and say, no, we have gone overboard now. And that's the whole purpose of polygamy. Every human society is suffering from this when they don't follow it. So the Western societies which enforced monogamy a long time ago basically now have given up on marriage. But before they gave up on marriage, there was mistresses and there was all kind of oppression and bad things happening to women because of this enforced monogamy. So the middle way is always the right way. Dropping it completely is wrong and causes corruption in society. Overdoing it and using it as something for rich men to oppress others is wrong and causes corruption in society.
Well, okay, now that we got that out of the way, and the short answer to that one was, and the short answer to that one was, marry a girl from Texas, and she told me that equals 4, and that's that. Okay? So, alhamdulillah. Uh-oh, look out. Look out. I don't know.
Here's a good one for you.
Here it comes.
Maybe both.
Look out.
Is it haram not to believe in the Bible or the Torah?
Well, there's a good question. That's, I think that's one of those $2 questions. It's going to take a minute on that one, so I'm going to take a deep breath, and we'll get ready to answer that question, inshallah. First of all, the Bible. There was quite a to-do about a debate arranged in Baton Rouge, Louisiana in 1989 between one Mr. Jimmy Swaggart and one Mr. Ahmed Didat, rahimahullah. And in this debate, Manadara, there was the discussion or the topic of, is the Bible the Word of God? Well, to be fair, Ahmed Didat was never a Christian. Never was a Christian. And to be fair, Jimmy Swaggart said he's not a scholar of the Bible. So probably that would have been a debate better if they turned it the other way, because it put Ahmed Didat really on the wrong side. Ahmed Didat should be saying, yes, we as Muslims have to believe in what was revealed to prophets before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the condition, the continuation of the condition we've been speaking about in tonight's program. We've been talking to you on the subject of what is taqwa. We talked about that taqwa is to put some petition between you and Allah, but also the taqwa is to believe in al-ghaib, establish salah, pay the zakah, to believe in what is being sent down to you, O Muhammad, and to believe in what was sent down before. Do we believe in what was sent down to Moses? Yes or no?
Yes.
Emphatically and positively, absolutely, no. Yes. Absolutely. Do we believe in what was sent down to David? Dawood?
No.
Yes. Be sure to be real loud. I have a microphone and you don't. And do we believe in what was sent down to Solomon?
Yes.
You can do better than that. Yes?
Yes.
Very good. You got these guys trained now. Alhamdulillah. That always happens on my last night. I get them really working good, and then I got to move to the next place. Anyhow, do we believe in what was sent to Jesus? Yes. Peace be upon him.
Yes.
Yes.
And do we believe what came to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Yes.
No problem. There's not much of a question there. Now, if you ask me, do I believe in the English translation of Quran by Thomas Cleary?
Nope.
No.
Or if I believe in the English translation is from, what's the name? Yusuf Ali? Do I believe this is from Allah?
Nope.
No. Or Marmaduke Pickthall?
Nope.
No. In fact, any English book, it says Quran on it, do I believe it came from Allah?
No.
Do you?
No.
No. You can still be loud, by the way.
It's translation of the meaning.
Translation, I mean, but it's not the deal, is it? It could have mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In fact, it will have to have mistakes.
Yes.
Because Allah said in the Quran, if you're in doubt about it, bring a book like it. And nobody can do that.
Not even in Arabic.
Well, I didn't even get off English yet. So, what about Spanish? What? Same problem? French, Italian, Zulu.
So far.
Not even Urdu.
Not even Urdu. Not even Arabic, actually. Even if somebody brings a book and said this is like Quran, it's not like Quran. There's no other book like the Quran. Is that right?
No.
So in the same way, if you brought to me an English book and said, this is the Bible, I'm going to look at you the same way. If you brought me the English book and said, it's the Quran, I'm going to say to you, no. We don't believe that. If you have the original, which came with Musa alayhi salam, he wrote it down. Do you know he wrote it? Bring me his handwriting, I'm ready to believe it. I'm ready. Dawood alayhi salam, he recited beautiful poetry in his language of Hebrew. Bring it, the original. And they don't know which ones are which. I have the Bible. I know it says right in, they don't know which came from. They said some could come maybe from David, some maybe from Suleiman, and some even said maybe it could be older, like Abraham's time, or something newer from other people. They're not really sure. It's what it says in the Bible. The one I have at home, it says that. Okay. So I will say this is very nice, but I'm not saying this is from Allah. Especially it's in English. Make sense?
Right.
We believe in what was sent down, yes. We believe in what is there which is preserved, yes. But what we really believe in, no doubt in, is what is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is something fi lawhim mahfuz, which is the book of Allah. And Quran came from the book of Allah. Got it? And by the way, Quran doesn't mean book. Quran means recitation. But the word Bible in Arabic is kitab, and we believe that the kitab came from Allah. But listen to this. The word Bible means book, exactly, Koine Greek, book. And the word Bible is not in the Bible, nowhere. The Bible is not in Bible, but the word kitab or Bible is many times in the Quran. Yes. So I guess we believe in it even more than whoever wrote the Bible. Allah Alam. Let's go to the next thing.
What type of knowledge must one possess to give dawah?
We're back to the dawah thing. Let's skip that. I'm going to come. That's what we're going to end with. Let's go to the next one.
Is staying out too late a sin in Islam, even if no haram is taking place?
Is staying out too late. Anytime you do anything that's too much, it's not good in Islam. Yeah, you said too much. If you said eating too much is haram, baby. You didn't know that? If you eat too much, haram. Don't look at me. I know. I'm working on that. How am I going to do that? I go to you guys and you always say, eat. What can I do? Haram, brother. But it's wrong. Anything that's in excess in Islam can be haram. I didn't say it all. I say could be haram. Why? Because everything in Islam is balance. Balance. You can go out, yes, and you can stay home. But you don't stay home all the time, and you don't go out all the time. So if you said it's too much, then it's haram. Or it's working on haram. So don't do it. Got it? Oh, and by the way, remember what Sheikh said himself. Even when we're talking about marriage, it's to get balance. It's to get balance. Otherwise it's too much. If it's too much, bad news. At least maybe it's makruh. Allahu Alam. Good question. Thank you.
Next, 17-year-old boy thinks that it is too early to pray 5 times a day. Looks 3 years too late. And he will be a good Muslim when he gets old. What do you want to say to such a Muslim boy?
Is such a Muslim boy here tonight? Is such a Muslim boy brave enough to stand up in front of me and say that tonight? I think that answered that question. Let us consider. Do you want to be a Muslim? Because if you didn't want to be a Muslim, this is one subject. But if you want to be a Muslim, you want to believe in Allah, you want to go to Jannah, then you must obey Allah, otherwise you're not following His religion. It's not your religion. It's not my religion. It belongs to Allah. This is Allah's religion, and He doesn't even allow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to make up something in the religion. Clearly. You can read Surah number 66, At-Tahrim, and read what Allah said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about even making something haram like honey and it's not haram? And even when the Prophet ﷺ turned away from somebody who asked him a question, a blind man, Surah Abasa, Allah doesn't let anybody make up the religion. He tells you what's the religion and you don't want to do it, it means you don't follow His religion. But if you do it, then you're doing what Allah wants you to do. Then you are doing aslama, and you're becoming a mu'aslam, and this means you're doing Islam, because it's all from the same. Surrender, submission, obedience to Allah. Do you obey Allah or do you obey nafsi? Huh? You obey your nafs, your ego, your desires, because if you obey your desires, we will call you Abdul Nafs, because you're a slave to your desire, and you'll never be successful. Do what you want, because you can't be a Muslim and you don't obey Allah. And Allah ordered believers to iqamah salah, establish salah. Yes? Can somebody be a Muslim? He said, I don't want to make salah. Okay. You have to establish salah. When? As soon as you're old enough to understand what is salah, you know the value of this, you can figure things out, it's time to start praying. The Prophet ﷺ said, let them start praying when they're 7. Huh? And he used the word darba, when they become 10. Put the pressure on them. Huh? Well, in America you can't say darba exactly translation because people get the wrong idea. But it means put the pressure on them and get them in place. Huh?
Right.
Yeah. Set forth an example for them. How about that? Yeah, you could say that. Set forth an example for them. Darba. I'm taking this from Surah Ibrahim. Alam tara kayfa daraba Allahu matla. Huh? Did you know how Allah set forth a parable for them? So, set forth a parable for them. Get them praying. At how old? 10. Now, there's exceptions. There's something in Islam, ruqsa, which is like concession for exceptions to the rule. Like, for instance, do you know that if you don't have any food to eat at all, you're going to die? You can eat pork, right? You have to stay alive. Right? So if the boy is 17 years old, but he's really not there, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he's a little slow, maybe doesn't know what end is up, needs a little bit of help getting dressed in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Doesn't know a difference between boys and girls, things like that. Okay, in this case, he doesn't have to pray yet. Okay? And we'll put a sign on the back of him, retarded. Okay? And that people understand why he doesn't do salah. So if the boy would like to come up here, we'll put that sign on you now. Hello? No? I thought so. Okay, let's move on.
Next question. Is it okay to buy a house from a bank or rent if the person has a large family and have a hard time finding rent?
Oh,
I think they meant...
Okay, that's easy. Is it haram or halal to buy a house from a bank? If you want to buy a house from a bank, it's perfectly okay.
Pay cash.
Pay cash. Banks get a loan on the house and somebody doesn't pay them, so they take the house away from the person because they bought it on credit, which is haram, and then they have the house, and if you want to buy it and you have the cash, you can buy it, and that's halal. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Is there any question mark on that? Haram is the stupid one who bought it on credit and couldn't pay for it. Now the bank wants to sell it because they took it away from him. Banks don't sell houses unless they take it away from some fool who bought it on credit and thought he could get away with it, and he lost because Allah doesn't like that. And now if you got the cash, you can go buy it. Now about renting a house, perfectly legal, you can do that. But for the Muslim who thinks that Muslims have to own land in America to get control over here so that we can be the next Khalifa, then you need a mental enema. Okay?
Okay. What exactly is hijab and what exactly needs to be covered?
Go ahead, you're doing a wonderful job.
Actually, hijab, which is referred to in the Quran, Allahu A'lam, was not even an article of clothing. It was a curtain. But people began to use the word in a generic way to denote the clothing that became required for women to wear. Actually, the Quran doesn't refer to that at all. It refers to the body garment, which is called jilbab, and it refers to the head garment, which is called khimar. Alright? And the Jahiliyyah women, the mushrikat, were on a very high level of modesty by today's standards. They were much more modest than any women we see today. They used to wear khimar, but the khimar used to go out the back. Okay, it was just like the way probably Western women would wear a scarf today. It's on top of their head, has tails, but the tails are behind. So it's not covering the front of the neck or the front of the chest or anything like that. And the dress had a neckline. Probably they varied, Allahu Alam, but it was called jay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not make very much change to the dress of Arab women because it was very close to the Islamic standard already. Alright? And He didn't tell Muslim women how to, go and wear jilbab. They were already wearing jilbab. It wasn't something new, that was just the dress of those people at that time. That's why the best of our scholars today, such as Ibn Uthaymeen and others, have said that Islamic dress is not a particular garment. It is what is covered and how it is covered, and that's it. Jilbab was mentioned not because it's ordained by Allah, jilbab, that exact thing, but rather because they were already wearing it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say in the Quran anywhere, go and put it on. No. He said, let them gather it so that it covers the entire body. And He didn't say, go and put on the khimar, the headscarf, because they already had it on. All of them. Muslimat, mushrikat, probably Yahudiyat too, I don't know. All of them had it on. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? Take the tails and put them on your chest. So now, the tails that were in the back, they came around to the front. Remember, this was the clothing they were already wearing. This is not new clothing. Muslims did not come with new clothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not ordain new clothing. He simply told them how to wear the clothing that they already had. Take the jilbab, which you're already wearing, and gather it and make sure it covers the entire body. Take the khimar, which you're already wearing, instead of letting it fly out the back where the top of your chest is open and the front of your neck, take the tails, bring them around front, put them right here, and now you've covered your neck and your chest. That's the only change that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made in the dress of the people at the time. As for all the rest of the times and places, women's dress has a requirement explained clearly in the hadith. When the Prophet ﷺ saw Asma wearing something see-through, not uncovering, but the other kind of uncovering, the see-through, and he said, and this hadith has a lot of discussion around it, but it is valid as a dalil. He said that, Ya Asma, when a woman reaches puberty, nothing should be seen of her but this and this, and he pointed to the face, and he pointed to the two hands. So this is what can be exposed of a Muslim woman before non-Muharram men and in public, etc., etc. And of course, the rest of the explanation is, one more thing, it cannot expose it or literally or describe it or make it obvious through the clothing. And the only other requirement is that a Muslim woman cannot wear clothing of men, clothing that is regarded as a man's clothing. So somebody sees her, from far, they'll think that's the man. That is also forbidden, and that is the sum total of the requirements of Muslim women's dress, and there is nothing more.
Next one.
Next one. You want some personal one about you? There's a couple of those. How long have you been teaching Islam? Let's take them all at once. Why did you convert to Islam? And what was the turning point in your life? Thank you. Basic thing.
Is that for you or me?
That's for you.
For me.
You need that. Take this.
Let me talk to the cameraman and get that reset over there. Thank you very much, sir. I still wonder if he's got a union card. I'm not sure about this. Anyway, get the mic over there. Let me borrow the mic. Okay. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam. If you'd like to know about priests and preachers entering Islam, visit our internet website at www.islamalways.com and follow the links to the story about priests and preachers entering into Islam and what is the motivating factor to cause someone to leave a religion that they've been in for 50 years. And what about a Catholic priest that also came to Islam the night before I did? And what about my father, how he came to Islam and how my wife came to Islam? What motivated people? What's the turning point? Yeah, I'd like to know too. Go to the website islamalways.com, which is always open 24 hours a day, and always plenty of what? Free parking. And that's what you're going to find over there. Let's go now to our final and our last question, which deals with the subject of da'wah. Sheikh, help me out on this one, if you will. I want to ask you, what is the word in Arabic, da'wah, what does it mean?
To call.
To call? Make, like pick up a cell phone, make a call.
Something like that. To call, as in to call somebody.
To call somebody.
To something, yeah.
To something. As in?
Dinner.
Dinner. Invitation to a wedding.
Islam. Yeah.
Can you say invite is okay?
Yeah.
Invite or call to?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like when we call on Allah and ask Allah, we say, Allah help me.
We call that dua.
And that's from the same root. Dua and da'wah. You like the way I put the hiccup in the middle? Da'wah. Can you say da'wah? Da'wah. It's got a in the middle of it. You didn't know that. You just thought it was da'wah. You know, it's not da'wah. It's da'wah. Let me hear you say it.
Da'wah.
All together now?
Da'wah.
You want to do what?
Da'wah.
All right. Be with us tomorrow. We've got a big program for da'wah tomorrow. Inshallah. By the way, I was talking to some Muslims and I said, you know, in order to really call people to something, you need to have something when they get there. Can you imagine you tell somebody, hey, come to 123 Main Street. Okay? Meet you tomorrow at 5 o'clock, 123 Main Street. And they go, hey man, Sheikh's invited me to eat. I'm going to go. Hey, free food, get a chance to sit with the Sheikh, ask a bunch of dumb questions. Sounds good to me, let's go. Okay. So tomorrow, we pack up, we roll down the road. 123 Main Street is an empty lot. Nobody's there. There's a tree sitting. I go, what the? Wait a minute. Under the tree. Look, Sheikh, look. See, under the tree? Somebody, that's Yusuf Estes. Let's go see. Hey, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. What are you doing, man? What's that you sent me? Yeah, well, I don't have a house yet. You don't have a house? Actually, I didn't rent the place yet. I'm just sitting here thinking about it. Oh, okay. Well, all right. So we'll sit there under the tree, you know, for a while. Talk, chaka, 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 and I'm getting hungrier and hungrier, and Sheikh is just sitting here. And it's not in Islam, you know, to ask people for food and things like that. It's not. But you can ask for water. They told me in Islam you can always ask for water, no problem. Also, you can ask for milk. Salt is okay to ask for salt. So we say, Sheikh, by the way, are you going to be serving any water and salt with the food? And I go, hey man, I don't have any food. Huh? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. You don't have a house. You don't have any food. Could you explain to me exactly what you're inviting me to? Now, if you said, okay, that's silly, I don't get it. Well, let me help you. How can I call people to something I don't have? Do you see people like this? They say, would you like to be a Muslim? I say, okay, what's a Muslim? Maybe somebody at work. You know somebody at work, you've been working with them a long time, they're talking to you about these terrorists, so and so, and you want to tell them Islam is, you know, so and so. Okay, go ahead, tell them. What does Islam say about these things? Well, you know, stuff. Okay, great, tell us. Here's your big chance, what you going to tell them? They say to you, tell us now, what about Islam? You've been working with us 7, 8 years now, and we like you. You're a good guy. You don't look like a terrorist. So tell us what's Islam. And you said, oh, okay, it's my big chance. You know, I heard that new CD Yusuf Estes has out called What is Islam? And I'm an expert on calling the people. Now I'm ready to go, huh? All right, cool. Islam is Shahadatain, pray 5 times a day. And they said, what's Shahadatain? Oh, that's Arabic. It means I have to say, Shahadu la ilaha illallah, what's that? Okay, I have to bear witness there's only one God. Oh, okay, one God, that's easy. Everybody believes that. Okay, that's pretty much it. Well, no, you got to pray 5 times a day. Okay, and you have to fast Ramadan. Okay, and, well, you know, stuff. Like what? Pay charity. Okay. What else? And Hajj. What's Hajj? Well, it's like pilgrimage. Okay, anything else? Well, yeah, some stuff like you got to wear hijab. What is that? Well, it's women have to cover up. Well, we saw your wife, she don't cover up. Well, yeah. Was she a Muslim? Yeah, she's a Muslim, but she don't do that. You know what I mean? She's. But you just said you had to do that. Well, yeah. Well, how come all these guys on TV they got beards? Are you supposed to have a beard to be a Muslim? Well, yeah. Well, how come you don't have one? Well, I'm a Muslim, but you know, my wife, she doesn't like me to have a beard. She likes me to be clean-faced, and you got to wonder about a woman who wants her husband to look like another woman. Anyway. I told you. Didn't I tell you? After I got done with the program, you see why they don't invite me back. I told you. The women are sitting over there right now going, all right, that's it. Don't bring this guy back. If he says anything about 4 wives, that's it. He's history. All right. Now, they said, now let's go over this again. You said to bear witness, there's no God to worship except God and Muhammad's his messenger. Yes, that's right, yes. And then you do the salah. And that's salad? No, salat. It means you have to, you pray 5 times a day. 5 times all at once? No, it's throughout the day. Like we have one in the morning, one right at noon, one in the afternoon. Well, wait a minute. You've been here 7 years. We never saw you do it. Well, I'm a Muslim, but I don't do salah. What else? Well, there's Jummah. What's a Jummah? Well, that means on Friday you go and you worship, and our Sunday, like you have Sunday for church, well, we have Friday. Well, you've been working here all these years and you never took Friday off. Well, yeah, I'm a Muslim, but I don't do Jummah. What's the next one? Zakat. What is that? Well, you have to pay charity. You have to pay charity. Do you pay it? Well, it's real hard to figure out. It's 2.5%, and I don't know if it's exactly how much. I don't have to pay a lot of income tax. I didn't have it, so I don't know. What else? Well, we have Ramadan. We have fasting. When is Ramadan? Well, this is a month out of the year. When is it? Well, actually, it's right now. Really? What's fasting? You don't eat or drink during the daylight hours. Well, what's that Dr. Pepper in your hand? Well, see, I'm a Muslim, but What's the next one? Well, the last one. Hajj. What is that? Well, it's pilgrimage. Pilgrimage to where? Oh, once in a life, a person has to go to Mecca, and when Allah make the way for them, and they go and they do these rituals and so, and it's a few days, and then they come back, and that's it. Really? And so, did you do it? Well, I'm a Muslim, but it costs a lot of money, and you have to take off time from work, and well, you took off a whole month. Just last summer, took the kids down to Disneyland, and you made towel around Mickey Mouse. Well, I'm a Muslim, but... Oh, we got it! You're a Muslim butt. You got part of the anatomy. We need a back, we need a neck, a head, some arms, legs. You'll be a whole Muslim. In the meantime, take your Muslim butt. And just mosey on down the road, boy. Well, you've been listening to Islam always, and we always hope that Allah will always make us a whole, complete Muslim, and not just a Muslim butt. I thank Allah for the opportunity to be with all of you, and I thank all of you for your patience, and appreciate the chance to share with you. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. And if I did, may Allah guide all of us to do better next time. And until then, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.